Oooaioto. 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 Listen as she whispers through the wind. Listen as she whispers through the trees. Listen as she whispers through the valleys and the canyons. But listen as she whispers to your heart. Listen as she whispers through the wind. Listen as she whispers through the trees. Listen as she whispers through the valleys and the canyons. And listen as she whispers to your heart. But listen, 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 listen. Listening is not done here. Listening is done in the heart space. How many of you take the time to feel what you're listening to? Because we know how you react to what you're listening to. When you listen to the world of with her chatter and the monkey mind and all those things that happen in the external world, and you take them not to heart, you start thinking about them and how they affect you and how they don't affect you, how you don't get yours, how you get yours, and whatever the case may be, you are pulled out of here. Allow yourself to exclude yourself from the chatter of the outside world and come into your heart and listen to the original sound. The original sound. You know, this world tries to separate us from the haves and the have-nots, and the have-nots, and the have-lesses, and the have-lessers, and the have-lesses and the lessers, right? But if you understand your heart, if you understand the feeling that you get when you rested your head on your mother's chest, you have been taught to listen in the deepest way. If you were in that water bag, in the portal, and in the container of the divine feminine, you know what the sound of the drum is. You know what the heartbeat of Earth, Mother Earth is. The Om of Mother Earth is the heartbeat of Mother Earth. You are the extension of the heart of your mother and your grandmother and your great-grandmother and a long lineage of women who were containers and creators of the people of this world. Aho, aho. There's a lot of people who like to take a lot of credit for a lot of things. But men cannot take credit for creating the world because they didn't. Women did. Women birthed us into the world. Women were birthed into the world. Women birthed men into the world. I was listening to Joe Rogan the other day. He said, you know, if men could have kids, there would probably be only 6 of us. And I think that's funny. I listened to that and it's true. Because women push something the size of a melon out of the size of a lemon or a lime. That's true power. That's grounded power. That's the ground chakra. That's the root chakra. That's sacrum. That's sacral where she received that seed. Aho. Aho. She carries that seed till it's grown and it's time to go into the light, move into the light. How many of you understand your movement into the light? I had a young woman, a friend of mine here last night, and we talked and we were sharing about, she shared how she heard me talk about when I walk towards the sun, my shadow is behind me. Aho. And she reminded me that last night at dinner, and it was nice to hear somebody say something that I said. But it's not original stuff. I heard that at church, in a church years ago, from a man who was my minister, my pastor, who has since committed suicide because he couldn't handle the goings on earth. Aho. Aho. Drugs and alcohol were a part of his life as a minister. He couldn't overcome his old nature. How do you overcome the old nature of the listening, of the thinking, of the having to know, of the having to be right now, right? How do we overcome all of that and save ourselves from the torture and the torment and the suffering of the outer world? How do we do that? By getting silent, by getting quiet, by listening, Oooaioto, to the sound of your mother's heart. Now, I was tormented by the thought of my mother for a lifetime, not because of anything she did or didn't do, but because of what I thought I was getting or not getting, being treated or not being treated. I never felt or thought about how often she got to get up late at night as a child to feed me from her body. Not from the refrigerator, from her body. She would stop in the middle of the day to feed me from her body. The body where I was birthed, the container where I was birthed. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to my words. There's so much disrespect of the divine feminine in this world, and there's so much separation that goes on in the outer world of the colonial world and the inner world of the native indigenous world. It's still going on. And I want you to know that I honor the grandmothers and the grandfathers, both. But I got to tell you, when you want to sit down with real wisdom, sit down with the grandmothers. I love the grandfathers. But I was rejected by my elders in my own lodge because I wasn't like them. Right? I wasn't indigenous enough. I wasn't Indian enough. I was raised as a white kid. I couldn't. There was nothing I could do about that. I didn't bring myself up in this world. They did. That's the way they taught me. But that's neither here nor there. I was talking to a lady yesterday, Rose, who's been traveling, and she reached out to me from Grandma Susan in Illinois. And we talked about relationships and the power of women and how they've been stripped of that. And there's all these expectations on women. But, where are the expectations on the men by the men when they have expectations of the women constantly? And my friend who was here last night, we extended that conversation into the night, and it was quite a conversation. But what's interesting is both women who I spoke to yesterday were listening from this place. They were hearing my words because I didn't want anything from them. And my friend Wayne Snellgrove said this earlier. I don't want this. He said the spirit world doesn't want anything from you. It wants everything for you. And I believe that with myself. I don't want anything from you. I want everything for you. As Walking Crow, as that healer guy, as the drummer, the ceremonist, all those things that I do. That medicine bundle that I carry is big. But all those things are not because I want something from you. All those things that I carry that I've been given over the years of my walk on the red road are so I could help you find your way to you. Because you are not here to be me, and I am not here to be you, but I am here to, if I can, open the gateway to the pillars, to 11, the gateway to step through to help you to the other side. I was making a powwow drum the other day, and I was listening to the Doors, and I was listening to break on through to the other side, break on through to the other side, break on through, break, right? Break on through to the other side. When we're birthed, we break on through to the other side. We come into this world, the world of light. We come out of the darkness and into the light. And if you have gone from the light and into darkness because of your isms, however many there are, or whatever they are, or your anger and your fear, or the people that treaded upon you and treated you poorly and abused you and all those things, it may be time for you to break on through and break out of that place. Pierce through the glass ceiling. You've hit your head in the glass ceiling, and it's time to break through and transcend and ascend the way that you were meant to, not the way that somebody else was meant to. Aho. Listen to your heart and allow the beat of your heart to guide you. Let it guide your feeling into right thinking, right action, right doing, right being. Be in the doing of the being and the being of the doing. There's no thinking in that. Those are all actions. Being is an action. Doing is an action. Thinking, it's not an action. You're isolated in that place of ether. This is ether. Those who study the chakras, this is ether. You can't eat it. You can't drink it. You can't smell it. You can't taste it. But you sure will live in it, when you're in pain or you're hurt or you're upset. Allow yourself to come out and down get a rattle and rattle yourself out of the monkey mind, out of the static energy. Turn off the CNN, the MSN, the fucking N, the ABC, the NBC, all that, the sports, the music channels. Turn all that stuff off and allow yourself to come in to the body. The body. Why? Because the body is where the 4 elements live. Earth, water, fire, and air. Do you know that fire can't live without air at all? But water will put out a fire, or fire will heat the water, right? If you're in the water too long, you run out of oxygen, air, but there is oxygen in water. I'm saying this because the 4 elements of the earth, of Mother Earth, have worked together for eons and eons and eons and eons. The same 4 elements that are in our body to create us, to allow us to exist in this world with all the relatives. The fire, the air, the earth, and the water are our relatives because they are a part of us. I am the water, but I am not the ocean. I am the water, but I am not the river. I am the drop of water, but I am not the snow. I am only but a part of it. I am a part of the whole. I am not the whole. A whole. And the 4 elements are a part of me. I'm an ember in the fire. A whole. I'm a stone on the road of earth. A whole. And I am the breath that I take every morning. I rise and I say, thank you, Great Spirit, for the breath that I just took. A whole. Heart, lungs, air, I love, I'm loved. Or heart, lungs, air, I don't have the capacity to love. I don't have a capacity to be loved. We make a choice at some point in our life. The lungs and the heart are in the same area for a reason. And the heart reminds me of the medicine wheel of the four elements and the 4 chambers and the 4 peoples and the 4 directions and all those things. And it lives in my chest. And I can feel her in my left hand right now as I leave my hand on my chest. So, Oooaioto, 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 Oooaioto. Listen, listen, listen to her still small voice. Listen as she whispers through the wind. Listen as she whispers through the trees. Listen as she whispers through the valleys and the canyons. But listen as she whispers to your heart. Oooaioto. I'm going to sing Aionawe. And Aionawe just asks you to be in your heart. Be in your heart. Be in your heart. Can you be in your heart today on Warrior Wednesday? Cease fighting. Let go of fighting all people and things and situations. When the harder you fight, guess what? The more the situations come up. I have let go of fighting people, places, and things. And you know what? My life is a lot calmer. I don't have to go out anywhere and prove it to anybody. I just have to live my life and let you see it for yourself if you in fact care or want to see it. Aho, aho. I on our way. Stay warm, everybody. It's chilly outside. It's cold in other places, but it's Warrior Wednesday. If you're the kind of person that likes to count the days to Friday because you have to get to the end of the race to have your drinky poo, your thinky poo, right? And I say this all the time. Those of you who count the days to get to Friday so you can have 2 glasses of wine that lead to 2 bottles of wine, that lead to 2 days of misery, and then you start over again on Moon Day, Monday, aho, and the race is on again. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Learn to love you only. Learn to love you always. It's something we weren't taught in this world because we were suppressed. We were oppressed. You don't have to be oppressed. You don't have to be suppressed. You can be you in the highest way, in the highest form, in the accelerated way. You don't have to sit in a classroom for a lifetime and be taught lies. You don't have to work to get a credential or a certificate because they tell you you should because it'll validate you. The only thing that validates me in what I do is me and the Creator, Great Spirit, and the spirit world. The rest, go hang it on the wall. You can't work while you're hanging on the wall on a nail, right, with your certificate. I work in the world. I work in the ethers. I work in the spaces. I work in the heart. I work in the blood. I work in the fire, the water, the earth, and the air. Oh. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Warrior Wednesday. And we'll talk soon. My name is Walking Crow. And this is Transformational Sacred Drum Medicine. Oh.